what is one big excuse that you could take on right now, today, and do something about? And if you started there, what would your life look like in 30 days? What would it look like a year from today? What would it look like 5 years from today? And if we took on some of our bigger excuses, can you imagine what would happen inside of, even just New York alone if you had 1% of the population that took on their biggest excuse? Without the creative generative effect of that, what that would bring. Frankly, our brain is hardwired to survival. And because of that, our brain, with any fear that we have or any justification that we make as to why we do something or not do something, I believe a lot of those answers come back to survival. And there's usually a positive intention behind some of the excuses that we go and make, maybe even preservation of our own energy or preservation of self. There's a lot of times fears are good, rational fears, and there's a good intention behind them. It's just uncovering that and seeing, kind of unpacking it and what's really going on there. I think for starters, I think some of the excuses that I make come to mind in terms of common excuses. I don't have enough time, I'm too busy, I've got too much on my plate, I'm too old, I'm too young, and I don't have enough money, or I have, too much money, or I don't know if that's really an excuse, but there's a million, I'm not good enough, it's just, I think it's really actually the more creative excuses, the ones that are a little bit more sneaky and insidious, that the ones where we can convince ourselves that they're good reasons. So a lot of times if I don't want to compete in something, or I feel like I'm not going to win or whatever, I've got some type of fear of failure, then I'll make a really creative excuse. We make thousands of justifications, I think, probably a week. There's excuses to me are a mountain with there's no end to the trail, there's no summit to it. We're never going to arrive at a point where we're completely free of our excuses. But I think the idea is just to have a little bit more awareness around some of the bigger ones. I think that it starts with looking at telling the truth to yourself about something, right? I believe that the extent to which you can tell the truth to yourself about whatever excuses you're making is the extent to which you can be free from it. You have to start there. I love the spirit of the message of, for instance, saying something like anything is possible, but I don't actually believe it. It's anything is, maybe possible in the future, but at this moment in time, I'm not going to go and bench press 10,000 pounds, right? At this moment in time, we aren't going to go and colonize Mars. So you've got these bigger society-wide excuses that we make as human beings. You've got individual smaller excuses that we make as just as people living our day-to-day lives. But I would say too, for people watching this, the worst thing that could happen is that the worst thing from my perspective at least, is someone watches this and starts beating themselves up over the excuses that they go and make. If people go and say to me after a speech is done, wow, you've done some awesome things with your life, but I suck and I can't do anything, then I well, kind of miss the point. I want people to know that I am a master excuse maker. And I know just now how many excuses I go and truly make, and I have to go and tell the truth to myself about the excuses that I'm making now. It's kind of this idea, and I didn't come up with it, it was Alfred Korzybski in 1931 said that the map is not the territory. We all walk around with our own mental maps based on our experiences, maps of the world, and we like to go and think of those maps as reality instead of realizing they're just freaking maps. And they're just, up here, and some maps are better than others. A good map you can navigate accurately with, a bad map, not so much, and we all have our own maps. Really I would start with telling the truth to yourself.